Driving home late at night can be a peaceful experience, but what happens when the peaceful journey takes a dark turn? In this video, we bring you a terrifying tale of a man driving on his way home. As the man drove down the deserted highway, the only sounds he heard were the purring of his car and the gentle hum of the radio. The familiar sights of his usual route gave him comfort as he made his way towards home. However, that comfort was short-lived as he drove right into a dense fog. The visibility dropped and knots formed in his stomach. The man squinted to see ahead of him, hoping for a glimpse of something familiar. The fog only grew thicker, and he had to slow down to a crawl. Suddenly, a figure appeared from the fog, causing the man to hit the brakes frantically. Out of the fog walked a man. He was tall and struck the man as odd. The stranger seemed to be signaling the driver, but for what purpose? As the driver approached the stranger, he noticed something else was strange about him. The stranger's eyes were dark, and his face rested in help. The stranger remained silent and gave him a cold stare. After a moment of silence, the stranger finally spoke in a low, raspy voice that seemed to come from the depths of darkness. He warned the driver to turn back and go home as the road ahead isn't safe. But why was he warning the driver? What could lie ahead that made it unsafe? The driver brushed it off as an overactive imagination and continued his journey cautiously. However, strange sounds started echoing from his car, and the radio turned into static. Shadows darted in and out of the car, and the internal temperature dropped instantly. The man felt as if he was no longer alone. As the man continued to drive, he saw a dark figure approaching from the opposite end, the stranger from earlier. Only this time he looked different. He seemed more menacing, and something seemed to be dragging him. As the car got closer, the driver realized that the stranger wasn't walking but floating. The driver hit the gas and sped away, trying to escape the supernatural presence. But it wasn't over yet. The man could hear the sound of footsteps and breathing right behind him. Suddenly, the car's headlights caught a glimpse of the stranger's face. His eyes were empty and dark, and he had an ear-to-ear grin on his face. The man drove faster than ever before, his heart racing and his breathing growing heavy. When he finally got home, he bolted to the safety of his house and locked the doors. But was he ever really safe? This was a story of a man who will never forget his journey home, a journey that left him with a memory he'd rather forget.